we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debated warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts glean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts glean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall. Words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts glean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts glean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? Excuse me. What is going on, everybody? We're back at it with another show, another stream. Of course, you know where you're at. Spartan SQ Network. I am the Spartan, your host, aka Peter. How is everybody doing tonight? Tonight, we have an interesting show. A show that a lot of men don't know how to talk about, even women. So, we're going to have that conversation tonight. But I can't do this by myself. I need my little BTDT friend to join us. He is known as, in these streets, Baby Groot. Groot, turn your camera on.
Right sound, right voice.
No, my rules, my platform. Camera on.
No problem. Then I will say I'm not a little good. I don't know what people
You know what?
don't.
I'll give you. You want your sound effect? You really want it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh ee ooh ah ah, ching chang, walla walla bang bang. Ooh ee ooh ah ah, ching chang, walla walla bang bang.
There you go.
Everybody who know Black David know that. There you go. There you go.
David, what is going on, my man? How you doing on this hot night?
Hot night. Let me see. This well rested. Trying to make sure I don't get no severe headache from losing lack of sleep. Dealing with knucklehead kids. Dealing with the shit that the monkey in chief doing to the country, slashing all the tech jobs. So it is what it is.
David, no politics.
I'm not doing politics. They're calling that I see. I call him monkey in chief. This not politics. I'm just wrote this. He's retarded behind. It's
Let's
not
move on from
politics.
that. So did you read the topic tonight?
That topic is I don't know what to say. That is for Sims.
All right, let me hear it. What's your opening thoughts? I want to hear it.
Open thoughts. Second place or no place. Why men refuse? Now who want to be in the friend zone? Who want to be a placeholder or be on the bench for some idiotic female? Why would I want to be that? No. I ain't got the time. I ain't got. Maybe when I was younger, at 20, I tried that bullshit and I saw what it is. I kept to myself. Now, here's the thing though. A lot of female that think they kept me on the friend zone. What I did, I kept them on the do not talk to, do not touch, do not reach out to zone. Meaning, if you don't hear from me, there's a reason why you don't hear from me. If I don't answer your call, there's a reason why I don't answer your call. I kept my distance. I ain't got time for the bullshit, to be honest. What I did hate is when shit hit the fan, they come to me, want me to listen to their problem and ask for advice, and I tell them in their face, "You really want my advice?" Because this thing that I don't do is I don't sweet talk you. I'm not an ass kicker. No, I'm not an ass kicker, but I like to kick you for ass. But I give you the unfiltered truth. It's up to you to choose what you want to do with it. And don't complain what I give to you is too harsh or too brutal. Because you explain to me your problem and I will break it down to what I'm hearing and give you both sides of the fence. And actually pick your choice what's best for you. And I got tired of doing that because it seemed to me a lot of females prone to be highly retarded or highly ignorant. And they be the same one on social media. Oh, where can I find a good bitch? You don't know what a good man look like. You don't know what a good man smell like. If you see him, you don't recognize him to begin with. So stop, stop the bullshit. You spend almost 4 to 5 years on the YouTube street talking about finding the right person, and yet people want to bullshit themselves. So let's stop. Let's stop the cognitive. Second place, this is not a matter of being second place. It's a matter of do you have integrity for yourself? If you have low self-esteem, then yeah, you plan to be second place or third place, fourth or fifth. If you have some sense of integrity, you know what you want in your life. You try to keep it. I used to do that to myself. I used to be isolated at times. I'm known to do that to myself.
Who's the fastest man alive?
So if you want no female looking for butter to be on your roster, I would never the one. I'll be that one you can never find or you try to look for me, you're not able to see me anywhere. You know where my mom and my dad live, you tell me, oh what? Oh, he's busy. You know what happened? I make sure I keep my sanitary intact. Not in my sanitary meaning I'm keeping myself, leave me the F alone. If you caught me in the gym, I'm dodging you, and you didn't want to talk, I'll look you in the face, do not distract. It's not a place. I want an individual. Leave me the F alone. Don't bug me, don't bother me. I don't want to be a counselor. You're not paying me to be a counselor. So what's the point? But yeah, but because you use me to you use me to measure all the retarded idiot that you dated, who was dick slapping you, who cheated on you, who slept with your sister, who slept with your best friend, go behind your back, mess with your aunt. Like seriously, and when they ask me why, first and foremost, I've been on multiple platforms. What section of men are you looking for? All men are not the same. So they all women are not the same. We understand that. Let be specifically clear. I'm not being politically correct. I'm being medically correct. Every man that's born in this earth are not the same. If any woman that says such a thing, then she dropped out of high school or she had GED, you take it. I just caught up at it. Why would someone want to be second place to anybody for what? What a point of that? I am very brutal to female who try to help me, and I make them feel like they ain't shit, or they'll never be shit. I am known for that. If I hurt your feeling doing so, I'll love to do it again. Let's take a shot at it. I ain't got time for this. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, when you want to waste my time, God forbid if I would waste your time either. But you let all the looking at the shell of a man, you put on a adult male, but I said before them multiple levels. There are men, there are adult male, there are fuck boys, there are boys. Looking for men, but you deal with adult male. Most of them like to deal with fuck boys for the men. And another group that deal with boys, but yet complain they are men when they're not men. Like, you kidding me? Let me ask you a question. All these guys that you've been dating, you need to listen to your dad who had a solid foundation to what he was saying. And he the real truth. Most of these sorry ass females will never introduce these kind of boyfriend to their father. Their father is old school, don't got time for the bullshit. But they know damn well their choice was effed up. Why come to me when you can't come to your own dad? Because that's in your life. Heavy. You have a real solid father who ain't got time for the BS. You think your father will accept the shitty ass boyfriend you had? You think you're dirty? That act that's crush. So that's not the person being asked and multiple sets of came all over the black beauty street. If you have a solid ass father who ain't for that BS, you're getting some BS too. What will your father say about you? You look at you funny like, are you telling me I didn't raise you well? This is what you picked? This is type of caliber of man you pick like you for real? Why are you hiding him from me? You know I will whoop your ass for this. And not to the female who has your ass dad in that time. Especially that one, that particular female who came on a Steve Harvey show. She said her dad is Mr. T. The dark version of Mr. T, meaning I like to break people kneecap for the fun of it.
All right, David, hang on 1 second. Let's get this person in here, right? Let's use this sound effect. Marion, what
Hello.
is going on?
I'm doing all right. Just checking my mails, you know.
Ah, you're finally gonna write me a big $1,000 check?
Um, God willing, if there's a miracle, it will happen. You never
I'll take a
know.
million. If you can't afford 1,000, I'll take a million instead. All right,
All right.
all right, Dave. Finish your thought really fast. I'm gonna get Mariana in next.
So, like I was saying, it's funny how a lot of these females who got men issues, who got a real solid dad in life, would never bring up these men probably to their fathers. They want other guys to be their plato. But trust me when I say, those women are sorry ass females. They know damn well their dad will whoop their ass if they did the caliber of man you're picking, and I raised you better than this. Big some bum ass dude who doing your dirty and you crying and complain about it. What did I tell you? Don't waste your time with these type of guy who is not that serious. But we know in today's society, we got women who don't listen to their real solid for ass father. They think they know better than their father. Then when they choose wrong, instead of going to their father, they want their friend to counsel them.
Mhm.
If I want to do you dirty, I'm the worst friend. I will drag your ass to your dad and snitch on your ass and say, get what kind of man your daughter is dating. Instead of coming to you, she coming to me for advice. Knowing damn well, not only you will whoop her ass, you whoop her boyfriend ass.
Mhm.
I'm that kind of brother. And I'll do it a smile. I'll even go record the ass whooping from your dad too.
Mhm.
How about that? Play with me.
All right, Mariana, you're up.
Um, is the question is like what I that man should not be considered like second or last, like consider first? Is that what is the
Pretty
question? I'm
much, yeah.
just
So pretty
well,
much the question is the opening time. I was gonna give you opening thoughts. Second place or no place?
no place. Like why you have to consider a man be second or whatever the case or third wheel can't. You can't. Like what annoys me, the fact that I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna like women should acknowledge, let's say whenever let's say, you have okay, I'm the eldest child of the five. First thing I'm gonna ask my, let's say if I'm going through something, I'm gonna go to my father and I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna ask for my, wisdom, what I should do. That's the first thing. You're not gonna, ask advice from some random individual you don't even know, or some, like some because your father knows you for your whole life. So I always gonna ask my father for something. My father always comes first because I had to ask him, if I like what I should do, and then I ask him, no matter what you do, I will support you.
Hmm.
So somebody that's very crucial and very important in your life, you always have to come to them first. And let's say if when once the daughters decided goes part its ways, move on with your life, you want to get married, you go of course to your husband. You always ask husband for what I should do, because I know that because husband and wife has to be united as one you as one, because a wife always have to come to the husband, not coming to a friend because it caused nothing but drama. Um, I know, but the last thing you don't want to, because you move on, you basically have your own life. Because you're married. Don't come to your father about, because you already have your own situation settled. So it's better off, whenever you're going through something, always talk to your spouse. Your spouse has to come first. You talk to your husband first. Nobody else comes first, because he's the most important person in your life, because you guys had to work together. And whenever it's a situation, you have to talk it out. Um, so, you know, I would say males are very important in our lives. And it's sad that I will say some, women don't consider that. And then
Let
they
me ask you a
do.
question, Mariana, really fast.
Yeah. Yes.
As this is you only compares to it only falls on you because you're only female on the panel right now. Do
Hmm.
you believe a woman? Let me rephrase that. Do you believe a man is the head of the house?
Yes.
Okay, explain.
Well, because the man is the head of the house, the man is the breadwinner. Typically, I mean, me, I'm just saying because I'm a little bit old school. Um, Usually he provides and he protects. Um, so the thing is, he has to be your comfort shield. He has to be, above all the rest. I
Hmm.
mean, that's the way I look at it. This is what I was taught. Can be the other way around. I mean, I understand maybe some women could make, but a woman cannot protect the man. I'm sorry, because you don't have that strength. Depending if you're I am sorry, maybe I'm going a little old school here. Um, but
That's your
yeah,
opinion. It's
it's
not old school
yeah,
or new school or whatever school.
yeah,
It's your opinion. Your opinion. Your opinion. It's
yeah,
simple. So let's just spit it out.
yeah. Yeah, it's just that a man has to basically is the head of the house. Always has to be the protector of the household, protect the wife, protect his kids, protect his, I would say, his clan. You're gonna protect no matter what. You're gonna provide no matter what. You're gonna care for your, the ones um, you know, care for. So yeah, I will say men are very important. Uh, they are important in our lives. I mean, there's a lot of things that came from men, from building constructions, from um from stuff that we need in today, from like everything, from electricity, from, oh my God, road construction, like everything is deal with men predominantly, over, like I would say, over 95% of the occupation workforce, like a lot of stuff, from mechanics, everything. I mean, come on, like, and I'm tired of hearing a woman say, "Oh, we don't need man," but then you end up, okay, when your car broke down, who's gonna fix it? You're not gonna see a woman mechanic. I'm sorry.
And if you, it's rare if you do.
It's very rare, very rare. If it's like whatever, and then like, oh, I don't need a man. What happens? Something like out of the blue, you lost power, or something went off or went out or whatever. Usually, men is well known profession for being electrician. So my thing is, I would say men are very important. Without men, I don't know how you're able to run this world. I hate to say it because come on, it's really ridiculous. And then that's why you have to come advice, because mostly, um it's sad to say, but a lot of the women come from broken homes. You don't have a father structure. You don't have a father structure. You don't have nobody to, and then they end up doing something that, and then people say, oh, you know, she's for the streets, whatever it is. That's what you need. That's not something to be proud of, I will say. You over here dealing with this guy and then with this guy. That's like, come on. That's, to me, that's you basically lost respect for yourself and for others. So my thing is, you need structure. That's why men hold structure in the household. Without men, you can't you can't, it's like almost a collapse. You need the man in the house. And also, men they put their foot down for their kids. If you don't listen, there's consequences. And then when they hear a manly voice, they get scared. I always see that. And like, I had to observe that. I say, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I would say men are very important. You need men in every level, whatever it is, from families to, whatever the case is, to, like, and disciplining children, and also I don't know what else can I say more.
No, it's whatever your opinion is, Mariana.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
you can go for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It's fine.
yeah.
And I keep telling you that. So okay, so we're all on the same agreement on this. So let's
Hmm.
play the first video and we'll go and let's get back in this conversation.
Okay.
Uh, oh, wrong one. I love when I do that. Where are you? Start with this one.
I don't want to be one of the best. I want to be the best. I don't want to be one of 5, 1 of 10, 1 of 100. I want to be 1 of 1. He said, here's what you need to know. Look around this room. He turns me around and we're looking at it. So all these guys will read 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 books. And then eventually they'll be regurgitating the same things they ever learned. But most of these guys will eventually stop reading and working on themselves. If you continue, there's no way these guys will be able to compete with you. I don't want to be one of the best.
Mm.
All right, guys, who want to go first with that one? Go ahead, David.
First and foremost, I never liked that dude not one bit. So sometimes he contradicts himself a lot of times. That logic, it doesn't really sit so well because this is more like competition. Because I get it. So let me fill you in on my sense of reason. I come from a household whereby the society you were living at the time, which I grew up in Nigeria only for 7 years, you don't have the same logic or sense of reason that we have here in the US. It's not about being the best. It's more like being the best version of yourself. That's number one. Number two, you got to have a sound foundation. This is something that never been spoken about concerning men. Real men are taught to build themselves from ground up. Look at the concept of a house. Perfect example. I mean, the Bible talks about it. When you want to build a house, right? What's the first thing you do first before you build a house? Building a foundation, right?
Hmm.
But when you're building your foundation, what's your foundation consist of? Look at the material you using to build your foundation. Because if your foundation is weak and you try to build a house on a weak foundation, what do you think gonna happen?
Collapse.
Bingo. We have a bunch of so-called men in today's American society with super weak foundation. They never take the time to build a solid foundation first before building the rest of the house. The same applies to a bunch of women. They have some weak foundation. They don't have strong. They have weak foundation. But when situation hit the fan, what you see mostly happen, they break down, they lose their mind, they go to psych ward, and they go all type of psych med, this and that, they're on drugs, they're on alcohol, they do all type of crazy nonsense to themselves. It's because they're freaking weak. Here's the issue. Real men train young boys to have solid foundation first. You work on that foundation first before you work on the rest of the building. Because your foundation is not done properly, it's not done solid. Ask anybody who work on construction sites. You know how much liability it is to build out a building and the foundation will get collapsed. You know how much money is up for grab? You know the kind of lawsuit they get?
Hmm.
The same thing applies to men. When you don't have a solid foundation, you're going to lose something in the process. Because when you F up, what's going to happen? How will you respond to it? How are you going to deal with it? Are you going to be in a bar getting all drunk and high, all stupid and everything? Do all I don't drink, I don't smoke. I go to situations, yes. I sit, put myself in a quiet zone, trying to figure things out. I don't go to the bottle. I don't, none of that. I face it head on. I'm trying to think it through, figure out how to get that thing. But I watch other people go through the same thing I go through, get wasted, get high, do all kind of retardament. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't recognize this. I just don't. But that's the problem. We have a society built on weak foundation, weak mindset, weak logic. Then we coming on YouTube as fake ass guru contradicting themselves. Like for example, Priscilla, aka the Bushmaker, aka the Dyke Maker, with fake philosophies. We had 8 Austin, aka the Sim Ultron, with some. When I hear people talk, I'm wondering if I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Mm.
That idiot in the video, he's the biggest one of them. He said so much bullshit. You came from a wealthy family, a well-to-do family, who had a solid foundation, yes. But you come here and spill some real nonsense, but you don't believe it, but you try to sell it. You're like an oil salesman, Nick oil salesman, that is.
Mhm.
Like, come on, let's be real here. To speak the truth, you're not popular.
Mhm.
To speak the lie, you get wealthy. So you make money off lies. That's what it is. I want to be that one who will tell you the damn truth. Either you like it or you don't. If you don't like the truth I give to you,
Mhm.
come to New York City, shoot the bitch you want to jump off, and I'll pay for your fare to get there. How about that? Come play with it.
Okay.
Mariana.
Yeah. Okay. It, be the best could implies different ways. Okay, I could be the best husband or best wife. I could be the best employee. What do you mean by being the best? Like it could be in so many different levels being the best. But to be the best, but if you want to be, but you don't want to be arrogant either. Like he could go so many different routes being the best. What do you mean by that? Being the best podcast? Like, and it's a little confusing what he mentioned in that video, I will say. To be the best, you just focus what you need to do, whatever the case. Let's say something that you want to accomplish. Let's say, for instance, sales. Like my sales. Let's say I'm selling shoes, whatever the case is, Converse or Skechers. I had to make sure the sales goes. I'm just saying, just for
Old
instance.
school.
Um, yeah. Um, or school. I mean, the thing is, you have to make sure why my sales are not going. So I have to make sure I'm best at having, the best customers. So you have to look at that. Like to be the best, you have to see yourself first, what you need to work on. Whatever you want to do, you have to work on it. Okay, I'm good at it. I'm best at it. Like you have to feel like you're motivated that what you want to achieve, or like you want to say, okay, I screwed up, I need to fix this. Being the best is that you have to bust your ass, I would say, to the T. But you don't need to be so like conceited or arrogant. So to be the best, you have to fight and work, blood, sweat, and tears to do what you can to achieve whatever it is. You could be the best, but you don't need to like, oh, I'm gonna be the best, not the best, but you could be. Um, but also sometimes people say that I'm the best, but then it could be very arrogant and very conceited about it. Um, my thing is, he just didn't make any sense to that point. What he just say, it's just almost like I'm like better than anybody, like that kind of way. Almost like I understand you could be better, but you don't need to be like it's almost like I'm better than you, I'm better than you, that type of thing. So to be the best, you have to work on yourself, do what you want to improve, whatever the case is, and you don't need to like be so boastful or be so arrogant, I will say. I mean, it could be any direction you could be best, whatever what you want to do. So but sometimes there's a saying, what must go up must come down. I'm sorry to say that. So you have to, be proud, but also you have to put your foot forward, but also got what God is giving you, the talent, because He will give you ideas, what you want to come about, whatever the case is. Okay, God gave me this talent, I'm going to use it. Whatever it is. Could be from cooking, singing, working, hands on. So to be the best, you know what where you at, but you have to know that you don't need to. People have to see you as the best, not for you to brag. Oh, I'm the best. So that's this is what I look at.
Go ahead, David.
Yes.
Let me add that because like she's talking, I'm looking at when it's
Yeah, again, we can barely hear you.
So while you were talking, when they're gonna make me ramen noodles, I was listening to everything she was saying, and it dawned on me there is a ignorance that being taught through the school system in the United States. I've been saying it for almost 2 decades. Why is America education system not in top 20 in the world? They won't ever do their homework about that. Why is it that when you're competing with immigrants, the level of education immigrant has is much higher than what we have over here? You look inside the environment of the classroom. What kind of environment is being built upon? What are they raising? Because you talk about if you're the best, if yeah, other guys. I'm sorry. When I went to school in Nigeria, junior high school is different from junior high school. They don't call it grade 7, 8, 9, 10. They call it JSS, SSS. JSS stands for junior secondary school. SSS stands for junior secondary school, right? When you go into JSS, you
Hmm.
take some remedial courses, English, then math, then other courses, like biology, the chemical, whatsoever. When you get to senior high school, you're breaking up into 4 sections. You have the science, you have the technical, you got commercial, you got art. Science and technical take a different type of level of mathematics compared to commercial and art. The math that we do in science and technical is much higher and harder than commercial and art. In science, you have to do biology, you have to do chemistry, right? In technical, we don't have to do biology because we're not into that science. I mean, the technical side. So you have to do physics and chemistry, so to speak. There are certain subjects that apply to science and technical classes that's not applied to commercial and art, right? So imagine an environment whereby it's all pure competition, not about who the best. It's about who apply themselves more. Getting the lowest grade in the class in science and technical class is considered to be an embarrassment. And we are busting our ass studying way out of the night, maybe from 12 midnight to let's say we are in boarding school. I was in boarding school. You go to do the study hall
Hmm.
from 9 p.m. No, from 7 to 9, right? No, 7 to 9 or 7 to 10. Some of us will go to bed early around 8 so we can wake up at midnight and study from 12 midnight to 5 o'clock before we get ready for school. Well, it does have an effect on us mentally because sometimes when you give it enough sleep, it adds to the stress in your brain. But those who does it did it for a specific reason, so it can be ahead of the class. Because when you find the technical class, it's competitive. God forbid you don't do well in math. You get kicked out of science and technical class and put in commercial class. If your GPA average or grade is not good enough for science and technical classes, they will remove you from that and put you in commercial and art class because they tell you you're not good for that. They designed the class to create certain people in society like engineers, science people. Commercial art are the business minded or the banker or artistic, whatever you want to call it. That environment was there for a purpose. It's under the British standard of education. Now you look in the Chinese, it's no different, but even harder. So look in today's class. I've been to American classroom. They make fun of people who study, who get good grades,
Hmm.
who bury themselves in the books so they can ace their classes. They make it seem I think studying is not that cool. It's not that fun. But they're the same doofus that we see on YouTube coming up like dating guru, talking about how to get a man. It dawned on me like we created the most dominant society on the planet in the United States of America. And when we do such a thing, what caliber of man
Yeah.
or woman are you producing? I look at the factory and see what they're putting out.
Hmm.
So when we have people
Yeah.
who play this dumb book, this is why we have men willing to be simped, who are willing to be
Hmm.
the doofus, who are willing to take second, third, fourth, fifth place, who are on a woman roster. When I heard that thing, I thought it was a joke, to be honest with you guys. When I start to see it in my neighborhood, people are doing that bullshit. I'm thinking to myself, like, where are their parents? Who's the mother and the father? But you said yourself, a lot of people come from broken home. That is true.
Mhm.
When you come from broken home, you're mixing one or two factors. If you come from a single mom home, which is it's effed up, that's the key issue. Now there's some women who come from single father home, where it is they're not a balance because they become too masculine under their dad, which I get it.
Mhm.
They didn't have a mom to balance it out. This is why, technically speaking, when it comes to parenting, it could take a two factor, male and a female. Not two males, nope. Not two female, nope.
Mhm.
All the doofus out there that said it can work, you know you're effed up in the head. I can't curse, I'm trying not to curse. This is a very triggering topic.
Mhm.
So trigger, if I have my way, it would be bare knuckles. But I can't be bare knuckles because, this guy right here not gonna let me be a bare knuckle. But that is the BS I've been seeing.
So let's backtrack here for a second, David. Let's talk about what you said before about they're not having a father in their lives and they're on the streets. Go ahead, touch base on that for a minute.
For those who don't have fathers in their life, that they haven't gone all across the country, from the East Coast to Central and Pacific Coast. What's the normal denominator that happen? Mom is at work. When mom is at work and she at work long hours, where are they kids nobody do? They hang out in the street, right? When they hang out in the street, they see what may seem to be popular or they may seem to be masculine. If they see a thug on the street, whatever they see on the street, they will mimic what they see, right? Or they'll be under whatever crew whatsoever. If you're not under a gang or something, you're under somebody. Female part is even worse. You're not part of the female gang or whatever, then you're being pimped out. Whereby you have all these pimp, Beethoven pimps. If in Chicago, it's mostly pimp central. If in New York City, then, well, you find some hoodlum who have a driving a fancy car. He way above the A grades. Maybe 15, 16, 17. He's like 23, 24, 25, 26. Maybe you're baby mama too early, too soon. It happened during the 90s. That was a thing in the 90s. Smart to know this. When you was in high school, you talk to certain girls, they say, I don't deal with your type. I deal with the guy from college or a guy who got a ride. That was a thing in the 90s. It was almost a thing during the 80s time where you have predatory men that look for younger girls because they can't get a girl in their group in college, so they would come to the high school and pick them up. Let them talk about Alabama because that doesn't work. You have lawyers who go to school and pick up. He ended up becoming a judge who's trying to run for Senate. I don't know how someone will vote for a predator of that matter. My bad. They did vote for a predator. He's in the White House. Anyway, pun intended. But this is what we are talking about. We have the type where the men are not in the house to protect, train, instill insight,
Mhm.
wisdom, and other things. I'm sorry, men not supposed to be soft or feminine. No, we masculine for a reason. We get structure and order. We get discipline. When you join the military, your drill sergeant says, "Okay, don't hurt yourself. You can do as many push-ups as you can. Please." Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going there. When you join the military, are they masculine in there or they feminine in there? You tell me.
Masters.
The drill sergeant said, the drill sergeant said, "Oh, come on, you can try your best. Do as many push-ups you can. If you're tired, you take a water break. Do you get out in the military?" No, seriously. Since that's the BS people want to throw out there. The military is there to train you. And most of the drill sergeants, 9 times out of 10, are what? Men, right? Hmm. And when they're men drilling you behind, are they bringing some bottle and wet napkin to, okay, let's take a breather?
All right, we got
No.
to backtrack here a second, David.
No,
Gotta say one thing.
no, 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 Pete, no,
Hang on. Depends
I
what
have
military
to do
you're talking
this.
about. It depends
I
what
have
military you're talking about.
No,
Which
I
one?
know, but I'm not
Hang
getting the
on,
military.
David. Hang on. I'm asking you a serious question. What's the military talking about? Military in today's decade or military back in the day?
I'm talking about the rural military back in the day, not the one right now where they give too many sidetrack low bar standard so they can cater to a certain group of people. I'm talking about the real military because let's be real though, other country military don't got time for this. The
Exactly.
Russian military, look at the Russian military.
Yeah.
It's no joke. I know people who have moved to Russia to go to school, and they tell me what they observe. You think they're crazy? South Korean military is no joke. Japanese military is no joke. I'm not even gonna mention
Yeah.
the Chinese military. It's no
You
joke.
get it. Mhm.
Yeah, dude, and like yeah, and like I might say that, but we still have the strongest military out there. Let's be straight up with that.
Yes, we have because we have people who are built from the old standard and are still remaining.
Mhm.
We haven't flushed out all. We know that today's military, they got a lot of old school military folks who are still in the system who want to push back this hey, standard coming in. Because sooner or later they'll get irritated. Once they walk out and there's no longer old school folk in there, that is when the United States military is effed up. I'm calling out to see it.
Yeah.
That's the harsh reality. 'Cause a lot of people who want to make stand up for the military who never been in the military don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Mhm.
Military, you mean you are risking your life for the
Mhm.
country. Your job is to defend the country. You have to be
You're doing the
stoic.
ultimate sacrifice, like they say.
That's why I like
Mhm.
Mandrell. Mandrell was one of it's like my twin brother to me. He don't play around. He don't mind where either, and he'll call out as he see it too. But this is where
Mhm.
the problem is. The type of caliber man they built for the military should be the same standard you have in the household. Man must be built different, not built to be simped. That is why certain men who go in the military after a long period of time, this is you heard about the story, imagine know about it. They go and marry a woman, they go out there and risk their life, they come back and find out the kid is not there. What do you think happened? Don't they spaz out? Don't they lose their mind? Because the morale
Mhm.
it got disrespected. People don't think about why do men in the military don't want to get married no more because they don't want to come home and find out they got disrespect. When a man put his life on the line for something was just
But,
keyword.
David, here's
Huh,
the thing. Also, you understand, being a part of the military when you're married or in relationships is very, very, very hard because you're deployed multiple times of the year, 18, 20 months at a time.
yes.
So, using your hand and lotion is your new best friend for a while for most
I
men.
know I get it. I understand it. But here's the
Yeah.
thing. Other countries understand when you marry a person in the military, you're being warned. What that man had to do for the country is not the same as a regular job. If you're not built for this, don't marry these kind of men. They give you the head warning. But if you're
Mhm.
caught doing
Mhm.
the thing that they want to do over here, there are repercussions for these things. And as a woman, you do not escape it. It's just that we don't apply that type of rule in the United States. If we did, you think there'd be a lot of scandal going on in the military? We got women doing all type of thing like that? No.
Mhm.
Overseas, if you marry a military man and you did something to dishonor him, oh, they're gonna disrespect your ass. Real talk. Ain't no mercy for a female. But over here, we're too liberal. So let's just slide too goddamn much. This is why
Mhm.
we have the society we have here today. That's the blunt. I'm being blunt as possible. So when you have women playing this roster thing, ask the question: what kind of men are falling for the second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place? Where the father in the house? He's not in the house. Hmm. We got a bunch of women who claim they can raise men. Last I check, you don't got two set of balls. It's like saying me, wait, no. I I believe a woman put to raise a woman, a man put to raise a man. Because men know the function of a man body more than a woman does. Because you grow into it. You live it through life experience. Not a woman. So unless the woman was born with the balls, then she's not a woman. She's an alien. I don't know what to tell you.
Mhm.
So when we have this delusion that been put out into today's society, what kind of men do you think we are getting? We got men who get too emotional, don't know how to control their emotions. They're too feminine with it. Don't know how to be suck it up, listen to the correction, and sit down and think about it over before. Oh, Spartans, you think that work in the military? But just not giving a structure, you want to get emotional. What thing will happen to that person?
Oh,
No,
he
you
would.
tell me.
And instructions, like it really depends on the instruction too. Get a little more specific on me here.
No, when a drill sergeant give you the particular instruction and you want to get emotional about it, what thing will happen to that person?
Oh, he's gonna get chewed out. He'd be smoked.
Bingo. And we got young boys in today's society, when a man talking, they want to get too emotional. Too bad we're not in the old school era where we force you to give you push up, we force you to clean the lunch with a toothbrush. I wish they bring that back to high school. Make these boys clean the whole lunch with a toothbrush and record their ass. You would like to take a toothbrush and clean a whole entire lunchroom? You know how much work that is? There are too many simp ass boys with no work ethic.
Mhm.
They don't got no back. No offense. They don't got no back. They don't got no spine. They lost their spine a long time ago. And they talk they are strong. Man, you ain't strong for jack. Put them through hard work. Oh, that's too much. It's too hard. Dude, out your age, lifting up 50 kg pound of right on my shoulder, and I'll compete with my peers. I only can put double the amount, 100 kg. 100 kilogram of right on my shoulder, run up the hill, back and down. 14, 15, 16. Competing with my peers. Today, kid can't even do that.
Mhm.
50-pound kg weigh more than 50, no, 50 kg weigh more than 50 pounds. You do the math.
Mhm.
And I did double that, multiple rounds, competing, trying to be the strongest among my peers at a preteen age. Today, kid are nowhere near that.
Mhm.
I'm a greedy old bear.
Oh yeah, I agree on that part.
I'm greedy at the get
And very old.
and strong at on top of that.
Eh, eh.
Um, I miss punching a brick wall. I miss banging my head on a brick wall. How about that?
What did it to you?
That used to be a thing for me in case I lose my cool, I can't control my rage. I do that a couple of times to calm my ass down. I remember one time I did that when I was in high school. I banged my head on a locker and I put a dent in my locker. Remember one time I punched my locker so hard it almost caved in.
Well,
I might be the last of the breed of real men out there. If that's the case, then that's the case. Because today's breed of men out here are so weak and so superficial. Let the doctor strike. Let's see how they act. Oh my God. No, fam. When there was a blackout in New York City that went out on the East Coast,
I
everybody
remember
was
that
panic.
actually.
Everybody was panicking. I was laughing. I found it funny. Yes, I did. Oh my God,
mhm.
there's a blackout. Oh, excuse you. Out in Africa, when we have blackout for more than 3 to 6 months, and we moved on. We keep it coasting. And I've been through worse situations than this. But when I see people, oh, this is the end of the world. I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me. You got a bunch of bruises up in here. For real.
All right, let's get my Rihanna's opinion here for a minute. You had the mic for too long.
That's okay. Um, where should I come about? Like,
Whatever you want.
whatever I want. Okay, this is the problem I have. Men, they need to be more. They need to show their like they're supposed to be like. I will say they have to be like beasts. They can't be. You could be feminine to take care of yourself, but not like feminine like like wimps, like too in a way like too delicate. All this. This is. I read an article last year. I was kind of was the last year or the year before. It was kind of I was kind of annoyed because I know that our military is supposed to be strong. We're supposed to focus of training and protecting. But there was forgive me to say this. I don't have nothing against nobody from the LGBTQ, but it was like some kind of drag queen show in the military. And I'm like saying to myself, why? Do you think this is suitable? You have to like you can also joke around, but it's getting carried nothing but a distraction. Okay, I don't care what what's your what your sexual orientation, what your gender is. I don't care. Whatever it is, you put that behind closed doors. But we have to focus when you're in a military exercise, when a sergeant is still giving you like drilling exercise or telling you what you have to do in command. You need to listen and stay focused, not like kidding around and joking around, have some pleasure, whatever the case is. This is the problem we're having, and I don't like that. Like I think this is why we need to focus to build like that was this has happened recently. This has not happened 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Now is such a big thing now. And like how long this is gonna continue. This is getting out of hand. That needs to be nip in the butt. Like you could do what you want, but you can't do this type of what is it called, yeah, like some kind of like drag queen show, whatever the case is. It's complete nonsense. I'm sorry to say that. This is why we need the last thing we need is the whole world laughing at our face. We don't need that. We need to focus on our military to be strong,
Too late
to
for
be
that.
to be powerful, to know that we're no.
I'm just surprised. I haven't seen a video. I haven't heard about it. And I got everybody knows I have a lot of friends in the military, active
Yeah,
and retired, oh wounded warrior. I've heard of that, and they
that
should
was
be
a New York
ashamed of
Post
themselves.
article. Yeah, New York Post article. I was like surprised because
Mandel talked about
every
that. Mandel spoke about it before, and he said that thing pissed him off. I remember he talked about it. They was doing that thing.
It pissed me off just now hearing this, and like
It,
they
it
should
did
be
a
ashamed of
it did
themselves.
a promo video to recruitment, and they were doing that thing. Mandel almost lost it. And everybody who know Mandel, he a friend of the network. The guy was in Special Force in the
Mhm.
army. He the real deal. But to hear something like that, the look on his face, he almost lost it. So I can imagine when he first saw it and he was calling his friend, is this what's going on right now? Are they doing this right now? For the army? Like
Yeah,
you so you can imagine he went there and went through so much and climbed up the rank and he came out and see this what they're doing to the military that he joined. That just
that
lets you know that real
yeah.
school, real dude, I'm not playing this game.
Hmm.
I'm not playing. I'm an African, yeah. I'm a Canadian born Nigerian. That's what TBN stand for. But I would not want to tolerate that type of nonsense.
Yeah.
So when I see that what you mentioned, and it's okay and it make it worse, these type of drag queens are not getting ranks.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's why men are getting put to the second place, not first. And a lot of men like myself, I refuse to bow to any goddamn GBQ. I don't have a problem with your being gay or lesbian or bi. Those I don't have a problem. The fucking trans, I do have a fucking problem. They're trying to to take away men's rights and women's rights.
Let me
We were
ask you
born
this.
There's
as men. 1 second, David. I'll give it a flow 1 second, all right? We were born as men. You were born as women. You cannot surgically remove that or replace that. I don't care
mhm.
how many surgery, how much advanced the science is. That is disgusting. And you should be ashamed of yourself for doing that. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
I want to tell you with my face showing. This is why I love Africa. They do the thing over here. Over there, they're trying to get asylum to leave the country because culturally speaking, it's not the government that can force this type of mindset. The people make it clear. And this is the true story when I tell you I was a preteen when I saw a male from the LGBTQ in Africa was running for his life. And I saw a huge mob chasing him. One had some torch, so some had a heat tank of kerosene or petroleum, some have tires, some have rope. Paint the picture what they were trying to do to that person. And this is the locals, mind you. In Africa, The government cannot save you if the people get you first. People ain't playing that. You don't believe me? Ask Oshedu Jackson. He said it. He said, you come to Uganda and you try that thing. In some African countries, they continue the death sentence to promote that type of thing. In some other African countries, you go to jail for that. So
Some
we
other
are.
countries you get executed for that too.
Oh no, I tell you, death sentence, aka. Shit. And Africa is a worker class continent. We don't got time for the BS. So when you see a old school rugged African and you want to try that, I hope you live another day. If not, good luck.
Sign
Because
that up, bitch.
That's why I
what I
love
was
Africa.
yeah. Um,
Go ahead, Mariana.
yeah, when I was yeah, because this thing, what's going on, it's a problem. Because I know that since this is a big, I don't know, thing now, but I know they're trying to imply that to other countries. But that's a big no. Like they want to say, oh, you need to accept this. They're
I don't
trying to
accept
imply.
shit.
Yeah, so they're trying to do this in several countries in Africa, and they put an NO. They're trying to do that in certain countries. In I know some of the several countries in Eastern Europe, they don't want that crap because this is why few of the countries, maybe they don't have a big army, but this is why their military is disciplined. You have strong military men. It's not like, like this is why we need to focus that men needs to be masculine. They need to be strongful, powerful, but not like wimps. Like we have to focus watching drag queen shows. Like this is what annoys me. Like this is like, are you serious now? This is what we based on in the military. This doesn't make no sense to me. This is why men should never come second, third, or whatever ranking. Never. You never, and especially when men are, it's hard for me to watch this. I don't like to observe, let's say, like a couple go in a relationship and I had to see a woman yelling the hell out of her significant other, husband, boyfriend. It really fazed me. Like, are you serious? And you had to go like be such a drama queen, be so dramatic, and then he just stayed still and stayed quiet and just he can't take the drama. And you wonder why, that a guy like that would not put up with that shit. Um, this is unacceptable. This is why a woman, a man wants to be with a woman that it's, have a, is being structured, basically being, how she was raised by her father, have structure in the house, have, there's rules. You don't talk to a man because like that, that's kind of disrupt his, his like his behavior, like is affecting mentally. Come on. This is what annoys me. Like to see a woman call him, "Oh, you nothing. What the hell you know? You this, you that. You're a loser." Like, are you serious? That's to me. That's too much. That's verbal abuse. To watch that, I don't understand that. This is why man needs to stand up, but they need to. You can't be. What's the word? There's a word for it. Being a simp. You don't want men to be a simp and then women tell you what to do, tell you how to. No, it doesn't work that way. No, it's get to the point like who's the one paying the bills? Who brings I'm the breadwinner in the house. Like, are you serious? Like this is what annoys me sometimes. Like uh sometimes I'm wondering when women that come from broken homes, they take, men for granted. You can't do that. And then you have women going after men with money and use them until they, they have lost all their funds. That's not even right either. That's what frustrates me in today's society. So this is why men they need to take care of themselves, focus them on themselves, make sure they have a good woman in their life. You don't want a woman that is like completely like shattered, like meaning like so messed up is not getting her life in order. You don't need that. You don't need that headache. And this, yes.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to share what we in Thailand thought about his life. He's divorced, but when he got married to his ex-wife, he met the father of his future wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
The man asked him a question. You have a mother and a father. He said, no, I'm from a single mom. He almost got disqualified. They're from another country.
Oh wow.
There are other nations whereby they don't want no woman to marry a guy who comes from a single mom home, period.
Wow.
And people in this country don't understand that. We're not having these so-called passport sis, most of the black women going to other countries, and they find out the hard way. You're
Mm-hmm.
not wanted here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to marry a woman from another ethnic group outside the US and they want to question my upbringing and I say I came from a single mom home, I'm disqualified on the spot. Because they don't think I don't know how to be a man. Real talk. There's some people they hold on to their foundation. They don't care what the world or society from this country say. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
can play that game, but you want to marry my daughter? You don't have a strong man in your life? I don't trust you. Amia, who was on the YouTube street, she's in the Middle East for Lebanon. She said when she married her husband, only she knows she's the second wife, her husband had to be interviewed by not only by her father, but uncles and brother, all the men in the family sat in the room grilling this dude.
Yeah.
When last time you ever heard such a thing happen in the US lately these days? When you
Never
bring it,
actually.
oh, really? Remember that movie called Bad Boy? When that dude came
It's a
in,
movie, bro.
I know it's a movie, but I like that part right there. When Will Smith and Martin Lawrence did that dude dirty, scared the crap out of him. Guy looked like he was about to pee on himself. Then 50 Cent did the same exact thing in a movie called Band of Thieves, and he brought the boy in to see his crew, and everybody was looking like pure hungry eating predator. Like, there's a curfew. If you don't bring my daughter back, my crew will come and look for you. When the last time you ever see such a thing like that happen? I know it's a movie, and I'm glad they did that. But how often you are here, I'm getting the girl and I get grilled by all the men in the family. How often you see that? How often you even hear that?
Not too often.
My point is exactly. Because if I get grilled by all the men in your family, that means you're coming from a very strong household. And they said about something. Not in for the BS. A lot of these females don't have that. So what do you expect to happen? What do you expect to go down? And yet, for some apparent reason, when we speak on these things, we are being toxic masculinity. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. That was a term used for people in the prison. That have been debunked so bad. I find it amusing how we have so many dumb, educated people still using that terminology. That's one. Two, masculinity is genetic. That is a key factor of a man, either we like it or we don't. Wally, I know it's in the movie, it's not being done. I'm saying it's not being done. If it's being done, it's really being heard. That's the problem. We're allowing the loudest voice in the room, which is a small minority, to dictate how people to raise our men, which will make them sympathize, which will make them feminine, to make them emotional, which will make them weak. Because when it boils down to life situation that will come out of nowhere, they don't know how to break themselves. So they run from it. So that's the real factor. What do you think, Mariana? What's your point of view about what I said, Mariana? Can you hear me, Mariana?
Yeah, I could hear you. I think I have static on my end.
Oh
But
boy.
let me leave and I will come back.
Okay. I wait for her to come back. This is something I've been trying to say for the longest because when we're dealing with our society and dealing with how we deal with men, you're going backwards in the process of it. You're making weak men, you're making weak boys. They don't have work ethic, they don't have discipline, they don't have the focus, they don't have the drive. when it comes to anything that hard, they're quick to run from it. Don't know how to face it head on. And the job market where it's going around, it become being screwed up because I remember there were certain jobs out there available for teenagers to build work ethic, but now they have to compete with the grown folk who are looking for jobs to pay their bills. You know, that's been long gone. Manufacturing job. The idea of bringing manufacturing job back is not going to happen when you're trying to outsource to begin with for a profit. So that being said, it's not working either. Hey, Wally. Hey, Marion is back. So this is something I've been trying to point out for the longest because if you don't have real solid men in society, what do you think would have happened here? Hey, Wally, you there?
I am.
What's your view? Because I know Marion has static and she's fixing her static issue. What's your point on this?
Where's the conversation at this point?
The topic, the conversation we had, what's your view on that on this?
Right. What's the concept though? You just put it like where are we at
Uh,
with this?
the topic was second place on no place, and we talk about why men refuse. And I give my own pick. I put in my own picture why it's happening the way it is, why some men are refusing, and why many are not.
Same place, no place. Why men refuse to be the backup? Yeah,
Not a
yeah.
lot of men doing it, but those who are doing it, we keeping a low key profile. We just want to be bothered.
I mean, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really make a difference. I mean, are we looking at this as a sense of just relationship or just all factuation of life?
Well, how would I say it? There are men who don't mind being when a woman lost. Either they put you in a
Okay,
category
so we're
of
doing
lost
my
fool,
relationships.
so to speak. Hmm.
Okay, because that's what I was later asking. Um, I'm gonna say this like I said last time. Some men just don't care about doing that. Some are just willing to just be there because they know what they're getting out of it, and they know at the end of the damn day they're walking in only to walk out.
All right, let me ask everybody a question here. And let's start with David and go around in a circle. Is it more painful to be the backup or to be rejected altogether?
It depends who you asking.
It's painful to be the
David,
backup
muted.
because you know why?
Muted.
Am I muted? Can you hear me?
Now you're good. Now you're good.
It's more painful being a backup because you don't know how long she will put you at the back. You could be there for, I don't know, a month to 5 years after you done been through the block already. And after she be used up like a used car, pun intended, all of a sudden she want to give you a shot. After how many hot dogs have been in her?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's painful. You don't know after. That's my point of view. Being rejected
Wally?
not that much painful because go ahead, Wally.
Seriously, that shit gets old. Literally, that shit gets old. But you say which one's worse between being a backup or being what?
Backup or be rejected altogether?
Honestly, that really depends on who you asking. I mean, because again, there's someone that can be a quote unquote backup and they don't care. You already know it's like, hey, it is what it is. As long as I don't get find out and I don't be no one's beat, I don't get nothing BS. By all means, because at the end of the day, the person that's the backup knows he can go play somewhere else just as much and knows that hey, if the call ever comes, he knows why. So again, that's all depending on who you're really asking.
Mm-hmm.
It's really all who you're really asking. It's really the person. There is some people, like David said, that are the backup, and you get the rare end of the stick because at the end of the damn day, this one went through multiple other people before you, and then now she comes to you like you're the safety net. Congratulations. And as far as just Would it be worse on a refusal? I mean, it could be worse for some, of course, because some people just take it too highly personal. Honestly, it's just like, hey, look, there'll be one, there'll be many. Everyone in life that is not supposed to tell you yes. Like, let's just get through that shit, bro. Like, no one's not gonna tell you yes. Not everyone's supposed to tell you yes in this world. Imagine every person you ever thought of wanting to be with or ever asked told you yes. Literally. And then you found out and then before they even told you yes, you end up finding out who they were afterwards. And would you rather they said yes to you then or not? You probably be okay with they said no. So again.
All right, Marion, go ahead, and I'll play the next video after you're done.
Okay. You say either what is worse, is being rejected or being a backup.
Yeah.
I will say to be in a guy's shoes, being a backup, because I feel like you being an option. You could be an option and being like, okay, I have this, and then you basically use and being abused by whoever that comes. Whoever is in your life. It could be, whatever the case is, if you're in a long-term or short-term relationship, whatever the case is. But I think that it will be more hurtful because the guy feel like, okay, where I'm getting out of this, that I'm getting this is, do I want to continue further with this, or I rather, it's better off being rejected, to save all the drama than being a backup, because I don't think that will help, because it feels like a guy is being an option. So, that's the way, that to me, that will be, if I was in that position, if I was a guy, I would be very hurt if I was that. So,
All right. Okay, let's play the next video and we'll go from there.
okay.
Who's the fastest man alive? What's his name? You know him, right? Usain Bolt. Who's the second fastest man alive? Nobody fucking knows. All glory goes to number one, the second guy who was 0.01 seconds slower. You can visualize like some 100-meter sprint. The winner's there. He's just won. He's got the tape around him and he's just ran through it. The other guy is literally right behind him. Nobody knows he exists. Nobody knows number two's name. Usain Bolt gets genuinely 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 times more material success than the guy behind him. The flow state is your competitive advantage.
Go watch the full length video because it took.
Go ahead, David. You guys want to say? I know it already.
This sport analogy,
Drop your mic.
this sport analogy have its flaw. I get the fact when you think track and field. That normally be the truth about it. No one remember second place nor third place until multiple tries that became first place. And you talk about the story about his triumph. What happened? That's a track and field. But in MMA, in football, any other sport, that analogy does not work. Yes, you get it. Usain Bolt is the fastest man alive. But here the kicker. They did remember second place. They did remember third place, but they're the people that gave Usain Bolt a run for his money. So the guy just blatantly lied to the public.
Mm-hmm.
If someone who watched sport like I have, when you're watching the track and field with Usain Bolt will be in the United States, everybody remember the United States runner who was giving Usain Bolt a run for his money. They know who he is. He was the fastest in the United States, but wasn't the fastest in the world. Usain Bolt mentioned a guy named many times that they got into competition, sometimes like a team. So when he said that nonsense I did, that time they got don't really watch sport enough to understand that. You and I both watch sports. Just like MMA, we know who the guy who win the match, you know the guy who lose the match. And we talk why they lost and what they did wrong, and how they recovered from that, how they came back. When it comes to sport, yes, we do know who the winners, and we also know who are the losers. We remember them. Ain't no we forget who the loser is. So let's stop the BS. That guy don't do sport. He do manicure. Get it nailed done. How about that? So please stop bringing sport analogy to the conversation. If you don't really watch sport thoroughly like some of us do, stop the BS, okay? You simp.
Wally?
So, in case the point of the dude's analogy, well, again, it is a smart play on him to use running, to use that type of sport because, of course, in some cases that is true. Keyword some. I mean, granted, when you award the people, you still got to award 3 and 2. But again, if you're not someone that is very privy, like pretty much like most people are not pretty privy in racing, yes, you only know of Usain Bolt. You only know the fastest man. For instance, it's like, do you know who's the fastest female? You most of the time would hear Richardson, right? I forgot her name, but she started with an S. But you mostly would hear Richardson as far as the fastest female. Oh, almost, yeah, originally almost every single time, right? Like tennis. If you don't really know tennis that much, you would probably know one person, and then you keep it going from there at the same time, right? But you usually would know most of the times, however it is, right? But of course, sports in any which way, shape, and form of you now of that particular statement that he's using, ultimately you're gonna know more than a few good people. You just are. Because even for instance, okay, in basketball people will say, "Oh, they only know MJ." It's like, well, yeah, but if someone was smart enough to know the sport even deeper, you can't keep saying MJ when you know without Scotty, they're just not there. It is what it is. But granted, is Scotty number 1 or is he number 2? But we all know where that stance comes from. So however you want to play it, it's just about who. It's all about perception. It's really all about perception, depending on how you look at it. So.
Yeah. Marianne, before we go, let me get this guy in here really fast. Hey, tell him, please rise for our president.
Okay.
Go ahead,
that takes about 12 seconds out of your program. So really, just given the shortness of the hours, you need for that.
12 seconds of solutions.
Listen, not all of us can be slackers. They're saying traveling is not an excuse to not be on time.
Well, this show's always been out. Well, I know what you're talking about.
Paul, how are you tonight? How's your travels?
Travel's good. Travel's good. Had like I said, pretty early day. Like I said, I didn't go to bed Sunday night, so basically I tried to get a little sleep on the ride to the airport, a little sleep in the train, in the airport, and obviously on the plane, and got to the office, worked till 3 a.m. last night. Tonight I'm ending relatively on a good note, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But it is what it is.
Hopefully, the travels will be stopping very, very soon, so you can be back on full time with us.
Never say never. We'll see.
Yeah. Before I give you the floor, let me let Mariana finish up. I'll give you the floor afterwards. Okay.
Sure.
Go ahead, Mariana. Finish your thought.
Okay. My thought. It's almost like it's like a competition for each individual. All the first, the second, the third, or etc. I mean, you're gonna remember Usain Bolt, the fastest runner. But I remember when I was growing up, when I was like, at the time when I saw Olympics, but not like the Olympics. What was it last year? That was horrible. I didn't want to
Oh
watch
God,
it.
don't even start that.
But I'm using it. Yeah, that the example I thought the best one was Michael Johnson. I remember when I was watching, and now it's like, okay, but it's almost like the ones who perform the best, or almost like the top three. It's almost like they're forgotten. So it's like almost like it seems like they get acknowledged, but then after that, when somebody else decides to take to the podium to be above it, they've been forgotten. So I don't know. It seems like they should not be forgotten, but I know that, like I would say, anyone with the top three, you perform the best. But I know that when anyone's in the top, like the gold medalist, always stands out. All the best, it could be the best, the goat, whoever. But it's I don't know. It's very difficult to say, but it's also not fair because somebody was in the first place, but then they dropped to the second ranking, and then second ranking, third ranking. It's almost in every sport, the ones, whatever the case is. So, you could be in that ranking for a long time, and then whatever the case is, but then you know it's kind of sad to say that, okay, nobody acknowledged this individual. I don't understand Usain Bolt was the fastest runner, but it's like, what about the one that was before him, but that was not acknowledged?
hmm
So, but other than that, that's all I could say about it.
All right,
So
Paul. So you're up.
I don't know what.
So the conversation we're having tonight is second place or I'm sorry, second place or no place. Pretty much is if you're in the back seat as a man, not in first place. So what is your opening thoughts on that?
I don't like the analogy. What are we getting at here? I heard a little bit tonight, and quite frankly, I was a little bit disappointed because it sounded like just some ranting. But at the end of the day, the only place is, are you as an individual, are you trying to be a better version of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I stopped worried about first place, second place, third place, no place, or whatever a long time ago. What are you doing in your life to enhance it in such a way that you are getting the best out of it? That's the only thing that matters. I don't compare myself to other people. I stopped comparisons a long time ago. I've learned to become content, as the Bible says, whatever situation that you find yourself in, be content in that situation. Always try to improve from the situation that you're in. But I don't care if I'm in first place. All I know is, look, I do better than most, but there's obviously people who do better than me. And I don't care. I'm the one who has to go to bed at night. I'm the one who has to be content with the decisions that I make. And so again, this idea of ranking, I think at the end of the day is a useless exercise, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be judged for what I do, period. Not looking at or compared to anybody else. If I'm going to be compared to anybody, I'm going to be compared to Christ, and I'm going to fail that one. But nevertheless, I still try to become more Christ-like, but I know I'm not meeting the standard on that one. But nevertheless, I keep pressing towards the goal, towards that mark of the higher calling. Outside of that, I don't compare myself to anybody. So yeah, you can have more money than me, more material possessions than me, or whatever your sense of happiness, whatever that gives you, I'm happy for you in whatever aspect that is. But for me, for my family, and those who are important to me, that's really all I care about. So the ranking thing, I think it's kind of like I think it's immature. But again, you're the one who has to give an account for your life and the decisions that you made. A lot of folks who are complaining about decisions that they made or they didn't make, and yet they want to sort of point the finger at everybody else. What have you done with the life that you've been given? But everyone's people watching everybody else, and this is going on over here, that over there. It's a waste of time. That's why I stepped out of a lot of conversations, even on networks that we're on. Because rather than focusing on self, it just became about them over there and them over there. What's going on over there? What's going on with you? When was the last time you had something positive that was going on in your life that's willing to share? But I see for a lot of people, it's about always posting things about what's wrong with everybody else. So again, I just don't get into this practice anymore. God bless you. Now, as far as what I did hear earlier about, men and toughness and whatnot, that to me is going to be a question about, well, what kind of world do you want? Because all this nostalgia that everyone's talking about when men were tougher and all that, yeah, we also killed each other off a lot. Regardless of what's going on in the world, this is generally, certainly in the West, it's a much more peaceful environment where we're not worrying about losing tens, if not hundreds of thousands of lives. Because that initiative is the reason why we have this image of toughness. Go back and watch some of those gym videos. I'm sure you can find them. Go on YouTube. Look at those, what gym class was like back in the 60s. You weren't playing kickball and baseball and all that kind of stuff. You were getting in physical condition. Why? Because they were preparing you for boot camp. and you were going to war most likely, or you're going to be drafted and you're going to a wartime situation. But we're in a peacetime situation generally. We lost 3,000 troops in Iraq, and we're like, oh my gosh. But people forgot we lost 58,000 men in Vietnam and hundreds of thousands in the world wars that preceded that. So if that's what you want, if you want these just fighting men and toughness, well, what's all that toughness going? It usually meant it was to beat or to delete another human being. And I got to admit, I've become, so all these videos of these guys in training, these guys were going into the draft. You could get drafted for military service. All this stuff here is what you do in boot camp. So gym class was no different. So if that's what you want, maybe we need another, if we need another global confrontation, which again, the way things are going now, I guess we need to be ready for it. But if that's what you want, I did. And I did all this, by the way, in gym class back in the day. But again, I grew up in the post-Vietnam era when they were still doing that stuff. But if that's what you want, then I guess, this idea of masculine men serves a purpose, but it happens to every culture and society. When the threat of war is gone, when you're in peacetime, you have to then find other ways to occupy your time. In some ways, it's harder because, since there's no quote unquote war to fight, you got to work on your intellectual. You still have to work on your physical. That's why in the spaces that we're on, that's what next gen training is really about. How do you improve yourself as a person? How do you improve mentally? How do you improve spiritually? How do you improve physically? We've done shows on training. We've done shows on diet and nutrition. How to be a better version of yourself is really at play here. I don't care what anybody else is doing. And so I don't spend my time looking like over there. I'm done with the critiquing and criticism. If you want to be better, here's some advice, here's some suggestions that you could do to be better. And if you follow some of these advices, more than likely you will be better. But it's like I say on all these shows, the decisions more times than not, the reason why if you don't like where you're at, it's because of decisions that you made. Brothers, don't have kids if you ain't ready to be a dad. All this complaining in these spaces about, baby mama issues and all that, I blame the guys. I'm sorry. Call me a simp if you want to. You decided to sleep with that woman who wasn't your wife. You decided to go in there unprotected. You decided to put yourself in that situation. And now you're complaining that the courts and everyone's got you by the gonads because you say the system's unfair. Well, because it's an unfair system, then why did you put yourself in that situation? So I think this idea of, turning the attention from where it needs to be, it's on you and the decisions that you make. And so, that's kind of where I landed it. But always be improving, always be learning, always challenge yourself to be a better version of yourself, and enjoy the process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if I'm first.
Go ahead, David.
Let me just say this. I'm not attacking to Paul Bennett because what I mentioned earlier is that a lot of these women who have these boyfriends and shit will never introduce these boyfriends to their father first, beforehand. So they know they're picking back, because they know the kind of father they have. And when I mentioned what he said, totally correct. Because you want to flip the script, this also applies to the guys as well. How many of these guys who came from a two-parent household will introduce the girl they're dating to their parents, knowing the kind of parent they have? If you were given a certain level of value, and you bring in a person who go against your value, they will look dead in the face like, "Oh, you think it's shit." So yeah, I do agree with Mr. Bennett about all the baby mama daddy issue. It's on your fault. She's not your wife. Why do you choose to get her knocked up when you didn't want to marry her the first? I said it back in high school, out here in the United States. I said, why is they just did in the 90s? A lot of girls brag about being baby mama. I'm like, what's the point of you want to be baby mama instead of being somebody else's wife? What's so cool about that? And it was the early 90s when I hear a girl talking about, oh, He's gonna be my baby daddy, and we're gonna welcome to being his wife, instead of being baby daddy. What's so cool about being my baby mama? Like seriously, and I got chewed out for speaking up while in high school. We got a bunch of nut talking about what to my own baby mama. And I'm saying that is backward. You got to get married first before you have kids. But the society I was growing up in, they were bragging about being to my baby mama before being to my own wife. So I was called the weirdo. So I've been on point from the start, but I'm watching a society, even they did the movie, How High, and they throw that mix into the play. Oh, daddy, that's my new baby daddy, my true future baby daddy. I was like, are you serious? You know, it's a comedy, but that was going on in today's society at that time. People looked at you to be somebody's baby daddy or baby mama, not to be someone's husband or wife. And I found that delusional. I thought I was in the twilight zone while I was in high school. And they had a babysitter in my high school, Sarah J. Hill High School in Brooklyn, New York, downtown Brooklyn. The fact you have a daycare center in the high school building, I was losing my mind. I'm like, where the world going to? I was losing it. Oh, I thought I was being punked. Every day I come to school, I had to go downstairs, double check to make sure I'm not losing my mind. There is actually a daycare downstairs for young girls? For real? I was looking at everybody like, no one complained about this? African boy who was losing his minds, looking at the world becoming. I was like, what the hell? But I get chewed out, I get roasted for thinking otherwise. And fast forward to now. Really.
So you guys think it's an ego thing also?
Oh, yeah, sure. But again, but a lot of times that ego is based on insecurity. Like I said, I'm not concerned about how I look or how I rank with other people. I dress the way I dress because it makes me feel good, or my wife appreciate. That's again, that's really my wife and my kids are really like the only people I really whose approval that really matters to me. You know what I'm saying? So again, all that everybody wants to kind of show off, or you know, yeah, we're number one or what have you. Good for you. Like I say, good for you. I'm happy if that gives you a certain satisfaction and pleasure for being, you know, for being number one, then so be it. I guess, you know, enjoy it. But I can tell you this, it's probably not going to last very long. There's no substitute for contentment. There's no substitute for, because again, anybody who's won anything, right? If you won championships, if you won whatever, it only lasts about a week. That euphoria that you're on or whatever, it only lasts so long before you want to go after something else. So again, you have to come to a point of being content with again, ultimately who you are. Not everyone's going to build big muscles. You're just not. You better accept your body the way it is. Now improve that. But I can't make you look like somebody else. So again, but the guys who go around, sit their chest out and, you know, look at my muscles and look at my tattoos and look at my, you know, again, I'm not criticizing anybody for that. I'm just saying, but again, it's like, what is your, you know, or wearing the offensive shirts that say all kinds of foul things on them or whatever. I'm like, what's your point? You know, you got 6 rings, you got the big holes in your ears or whatnot. And at the end of that, it's like, okay, if you're saying I'm expressing myself, it's like, okay, but at the end of it, what's the point? So yeah, ego is definitely, but a lot of egos are fragile. But to me, I measure, you know, especially in my older age, I'm measuring manhood and masculinity differently. It's not about a look. It's about an attitude. It's about how you feel, how you conduct yourself, the respect that you have for yourself, and the respect that you expect from other people. The disrespect you will not tolerate, because again, you have a high regard for yourself, and you will not allow yourself to be lowered into things that are trivial. Come on, let's go. Let's see whose car is the fastest. I'm not racing you. Who can run the farthest? Who can jump the highest? Again, you do that because you enjoy it. You're passionate about that. You just enjoy testing yourself in that way. You have athletic gifts and abilities that you not only you have them, but you love them. Fine, pursue them to the best of their ability. No problem. But who's tougher? I knew guys who go around with the bully in the neighborhood. They just want to fight people all the time. Come on, let's see who's tough. Come on, let's fight. I'm not fighting you. I'm not wasting my time on you. Why, I don't. Why even resort to that? What's that going to prove? Fine, you can kick my butt. Okay, so what? Especially back then when I was a 98-pound weakling. What is beating me up? What is that doing for you? At the end of the day,
nothing.
Now I can look at myself. It's like, yeah, do I have the physicality if I want to be tough with weaker people? But that's a waste of time. So again, ego being second. Let's get this into relationships. I heard a lot tonight about who's first and man's head and whatnot. Look, generally, I agree with a lot of that, but a lot of it is more so based on ability, not so necessarily position, per se. At least with me, anyway. If you got the capabilities to do a lot of things, then I say go ahead and do what you got to do. When I came down, actually, I had my first trip. This is the first trip where there was a female pilot. And I was kind of jacked about that. I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. Female pilot. Land the plane beautifully and whatnot. Smooth ride. All right, go girl, go get that. No problem with that. But then you got a lot of men out there saying, oh, well, she's probably a DEI hire, or she's probably this or that or whatever. It's I don't have time for that. My thing is, if she has the job, if she's qualified to do it, let her do the job.
Oh, I agree 100%, Paul. 100%. So the job, yeah.
But I'm just saying, but you hear a lot of in these spaces, anytime, whether it be a minority or female or whatever, a lot of times you hear in these spaces, oh well, they didn't earn it. How do you know?
And that's what I have an issue with. I have an issue.
I'll give a great example if you could. Go ahead, David. Go first. I'll go next.
What he's saying is what I've been hearing for so long. I get irritated because first and foremost, I see more female in tech. I see more because you do the same thing like everybody else do, and you're qualified. You are qualified. You have people who are born from deferment. Want to talk about someone being qualified, but you don't want to do the thing that make them be qualified.
100%.
How do you know what a person is being qualified? Female doctor. We have male doctor. I'm all about put your mouth where it needs to be. When you don't need to be there, shut the hell up. Seriously. Every field out there, you have to go to a specific training and routine to be qualified. If she did the work, she is qualified. End of story. If you have an issue, do the same work that she did. And you prove if you can't do it, shut the hell up. But we live in a society that people want to front they got big balls, they actually got small balls, smaller than a billy goat, that is, and want to front their retarded ego. I've been on a plane with a female pilot. I never had a problem with it. I asked them questions. How is the training? The training that different. The same time acting on male pilot, the same thing. How much work do you take? Today's time with me, the age technologies, I'm an IT guy. Some people have to build a flight simulator at home. They need to get 2 or 3 monitors, a super MPC. Logitech had the flight simulator gear for them to practice at home. Need a certain amount of flight hours. And they have to record it. And send that report to the school so they said they've been doing the work because the kids don't have the time to go to the schools facility. They can build one at home. This is why I have an issue with dumb idiots who want to say things but don't know the backstory or what to do to be qualified for something. That's why I'm saying when we have, not to be political, we have people in position don't know not supposed to be in it to begin with, and they're not qualified. Period. But they got an issue because someone who is far qualified than them, who deserve that position, but want to take that spot. That is my anger issue. That is my triggering point. Don't ask me what I cannot do if you haven't done the work I've done. Why did he qualify? Why did she qualify? Do the work then. See how hard it is. If you can do what she did, then you can talk. If you can't, shut up. Just shut up. We have too many wannabe gurus want to talk shit about something they have no idea. It's like saying, why would a Singapore talk about marriage never being married to begin with? Like, come on. Are you going to tell ask a competent tell a mechanic how to do their job? You ask a mechanic tell a doctor how to do their job? But they work in the medical field? Look what we have in today's society. We are delusional people telling people how to do something but don't know how to do it themselves. This is why it's so laughable. But I digress.
So I want to bounce off David and Paul for a second. So I actually know one female that's a mechanic and one female that is in construction, believe it or not. So I don't have a problem any female doing what a man can do. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with, the only thing I'm not cool with, like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, was when they're doing this sex changes, or the whole transgender thing. I'm not cool with that part. I have an issue with that. I'm very religious, like most of you guys know already. And I'm pretty sure me and Paul are pretty equally religious, and David too. And Mariana too. Mm-hmm. Originally I say Paul Wally because I know me and him have a little different beliefs on that. But by that said, if you're born as a man, you're a man. If you're born as a woman, you're a woman. Simple as that. There is no, I don't care how many surgeries you have, you're still a man. That's so demonic to change it and unhuman. A lot of people are thinking that's the new trend now. It's not a trend. I know some states. Go ahead.
I don't understand. Again, I've said this in many different spaces, and I guess I'll say the same thing here. Why is this even getting space?
Good question.
I don't understand it, because if you want to bring religion into it, you shouldn't be having sex with anyone who's not your wife.
Good point. So
who am I then to look at somebody else and say, okay, oh well, that's this or that's that? If you want to bring God into the equation, yeah, there's a lot of things that'll be shut down. The fact that people go to war and people are intentionally harming other people, that's gone on in human history. But we got a small pocket of people who, for whatever reasons, sincere or not, I don't know, but quite frankly, I don't spend a lot of time on it. But go to any YouTube channel in these spaces, in these manosphere type spaces, and half their content is talking about this issue. I don't get it. Like I said, I'm going back to you. What are you doing with your life? That community has no bearing, or very little bearing, on the fact that it's over a 50% divorce rate. That has no bearing. No bearing on the fact that people are having fewer children. That has no bearing. But that's the conversation. So the elephant in the room is all these things that are going on between heterosexual men and women. But I think an over emphasis is on this minority community. So again, I don't see the fruitfulness of that discussion when the bulk of people that we're talking to are not of that community. They probably don't follow this channel. And so let's talk about those things again. How can you be a better human being? How can you be a better man? How you can become a better woman? But this is, to me, this is part of the distraction that I'm seeing in the culture that is not dealing with the real issues, which is you. So again, that's why I just got off some shit. I just said, okay, what's the topic tonight? Oh, I'm not going to be on. That's why I stepped off a lot of platforms for that very reason. Because again, it's not worth my mental capacity. I've expressed my views on it. So again, I'm going to say something different now. Something that you talked about 2 months ago. I'm just saying not here. I'm just saying just in general.
No. I know. I think this is the first time we actually even brought it up on this network.
Right. I'm not right. So I'm not hitting this channel specifically. But what I'm saying is there's just an overabundance of talking about the extremes in the society versus the norms in society. Most people are heterosexual. Most people, I think, would certainly like to pair up or couple with people of the opposite sex. Now, how can they do it? But we spend so much time on this little, I don't know what it is, 1%, minus 1%, whatever it is. But that's got everybody up in an uproar. But what are your dating prospects? What is your, before I got on tonight, I was talking to my daughter about, she said she kind of went on her first, what she felt was her first real date. I'm like, good, good. Let's talk about that in the future. And we're talking about, now, again, I'm having the conversations about what to look for in a man, in a possible man, and what you need to be as a woman. I'm having those conversations. I hope other people are having conversations with their daughters. Fathers are having conversations with their daughters about the same thing. But we were literally talking about that just minutes ago before I came on. So, I'm not. Like I said, I don't. I don't spend idle time. And again, maybe that could be an age thing with me, but I don't want to spend this aspect of my life on things that don't affect me. But I got a lot of people around me who there's certainly other things that I can touch and influence them on, and I'm going to focus on those things.
Yeah. No, I see your point, Paul, and I agree 100% where you're coming from. So let's start getting our final thoughts. David, you go first. Wally, Mariana, and Paul final.
Ladies and gentlemen, final thoughts. Fellas, stop trying to be on anybody's roster. Have your own self-esteem, self-integrity. Build a foundation. If you have love interest in a particular woman, and she doesn't see you as the type of man that you want, move on. Don't be a bench warmer. Move on, do about your business. Continue to work on you. Continue to build you. Don't worry. If you can find the right one in the territory you are in, build yourself so that you can travel elsewhere and find other crop of the field. Technically speaking, if anyone have an itch of you being a passport bro have been biblical times. So I don't know why they complain about it. So don't let it bother you. You want to travel out, look elsewhere, maybe you'll find them in your job, maybe you'll find them in other places, maybe you never know. Don't worry about it. Just keep it pushing, keep working on you, focus on you. Wait for the right one to come along. All right? Don't chase after what glitter, but it might be copper. Okay? That's my point of view. That's my final thought. Wally.
Literally. That shit gets old. Lord mercy. Well, for my final statement. Oh boy. Yeah, I think honestly, it's pretty much what Pop Bennett said earlier. And honestly, and this was really just a very lukewarm experience of a conversation because it's really a taboo of it's really just taboo of your thinking process. Because regardless on if it's just you focusing on your life or you in visuals of others in circumstances of relationships or whatever it may be, there's always a position you have. But the funny thing about this is because as I'm listening to Paul talk about it as he comes in, we talk about second place or no place, but we never even talked about first place and what that means to you as a person, or at least as a man, and what that looks like to you in your position of being first place. But we automatically just drove ourselves to second or no place because why? Because we sell the pity party and the devalue of it all of where men are. I mean, think about it. You'll hear men say because in contextuary to women, women are born with value and men aren't. Really? Really? I mean, it's so sad, right, when you hear that, because like on a sense, you could say, yeah, boys are born with no value, but girls are. Really? Do you not know the moment if a father were to hear he gets a boy, like that's instant, like, oh my God, it's instant joy for him. But boys don't have no value, right? Again, very lukewarm. It's all really like preference of however you think. So yeah, if you think any which way, shape, and form, that's really a question for you to look at in the mirror. Good day to you.
Okay. Final thoughts with this discussion. Well, I'm gonna look at it this way. No matter what in life, in for a man in particular, do never see yourself any ranking, first place, second place, whatever the case is. Do all you have to do is focus on yourself, be the best you can be, what God given you, and be thankful every day and being blessed what you have. Um, Other than that, you cannot please or satisfy or trying to get some, I don't know, um, trying to, just focus on yourself as men. Just, make sure that, you're taking care of yourself. You take care of the ones you cared, your loved ones. Um, and that matters the most, more than anything. For having that discussion first, I mean, you can't go games because it's like, oh yeah, who's the best and who's the worst. Like I don't know what else can I, how to come in to categorize. I don't know, like in that form, but I don't think you can't see yourself lower, you can't see yourself, any worse. You always have to see that you're whatever you feel good inside, that you're do what you can, and that's the that's the key. That's the key, that you have to focus on yourself, be good. I mean, be good or what you have, and be thankful what you have, and yeah, ranking is doesn't do any. It just feels like, just it seems like, I don't know. That's like out of touch. So that's my final thought.
Okay. So again, this Thursday, every Thursday, on the Sparty Street Network, we have Next Gen Training with myself and Coach Trey Berg, and every week we devote the channel to ways how you can improve yourself. And we start off every show with a check-in. We call it a check-in, and it's based on PIES. How you doing physically? How you doing intellectually? How you doing emotionally? And how you doing spiritually? So those check-ins are things that we do every week at the start of the show. And it is also, these are also the things we believe that a person certainly should devote their lives to, always trying to improve. Improve your physical fitness and conditioning and your strength. Be strong if you have to. Learn to improve your intellect. Learn and read and study and put yourself in new situations and new environments, because that's the best way to learn when you're in a certain environment. How are you doing emotionally? I think if you're really focusing on the P and the I, the E becomes you start feeling better about yourself as you do these things. And then your spiritual, again, depending on whatever your spiritual walk is or whatever that foundation is for you, but make sure you're good there also. And if you focus on those things, again, you really don't care about who's on the left or who's to the right, what your ranking is, even in your relationships at home. I mean, certainly, my household, yeah, we have, you would maybe consider a traditional Christian home. Yeah, I'm kind of the head. But the crazy thing about it, probably 95% of the time, we don't even talk about it. There's things I do that she tells me to do, and there's things that she does because I asked her to do. We don't have that conversation about ranking in my household usually. And I pray that we always stay in a position where we never have to. We just do what is required so that the relationship works. And as long as we keep doing that, yeah, we're going to keep winning. And yeah, we're in season 29. We're going to get to season 30 and 31 and so on and so forth. And we're going to keep winning because there's couples who didn't make it to where we're at now. And people are going to bow out next year. So again, we don't put this emphasis on who's first or who's second or what have you, but we just win. So it's kind of where it is for us.
Guys, thank you so much for all you guys coming up and giving your opinions. Definitely you, Paul and Wally, because I know you definitely traveling from and Wally's busy as always. David, you want to go over your show tomorrow really fast? Short and sweet, not an hour long.
Let's check out tomorrow. We'll have an interesting conversation. That's what I'm going to say.
All right. And Paul, you want to go over your show really fast for next for Thursday?
So again, so this Thursday Next Gen Training is basically steps on becoming unrecognizable. I kind of don't like that term too much. We'll go with it for the show. I'll try to make it work, but I want you to recognize. I certainly I want the individuals who will take on what we're saying. Yeah, I want you to be known for and to be recognized that that's who you really are. The person who was before, that was the fake. That was the mask. That was the disguise. But hopefully in doing some of the things that we're talking about, that you, the real you, ultimately comes out. The best version of yourself comes out. And people may not look at it as, man, that's really you. I couldn't believe all this time that was actually you. But I want that then to become the template and the standard by which you're judged. So yeah, so Next Gen Training this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, becoming unrecognizable. We're going to be talking about some steps and keys, how you can do those sort of things. And a lot of it is kind of, maybe an expansion of some of the things that we talked about tonight. So that's why I love doing the show. And that's what I've, in these days, that's what I dedicate my life to. Not about gossip or complaining. Let's do some things to be better. That's it.
Right, guys. And on Saturday, David will be covering me, Paul, and Wally. Mariah, if you want to join the guys, you're more than welcome to. They will be talking about Superman on screen, the Man of Steel through the ages. So that should be an interesting conversation. Guys, have a great show. I will see you guys when I get back on the gray area with Paul on Sunday. Except that, David, final words? Wally?
Prepare for a show of discipline.
All right, I'll do that. Mariana?
No, I'm good.
And Paul. All right. As always, guys, this was Spartan SU Network. I am the Spartan. He is Black David. He is Wally. I gotta find a nickname for you soon. Mariana, President, aka Mr. Bennett Paul. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Right.